Hey, good morning, single moms. Good morning. Hashtag single moms level up. I got my tripod with me today. So, I just want to pop in and see how your first week in school, well, at least down in Houston area, school has started. This past week, it was like the full week of school. So, for me, it was traffic, changed and is a lot heavier and everything. So I got to leave a little early. And so I got a pretty good understanding of what time I need to leave in the morning. It's not always the same every year because, the different amount of kids going to whatever school. So going to work, I pass through three. I'm going to call it three. It's probably technically four, but three school zones. And so one by my house, but there's a junior high and a high school. Depending on what time I'm leaving, I could hit either traffic because one starts after the other, probably within an hour after the other. But depending on what time I actually leave in the morning. Then there's one when I drop off my grandkids at daycare. There's a school zone, and then going a little further, closer to work, I drive through yet another school district, school zone area, because they're on a main highway. Out here they call them farm to market, which means literally farm to market. Like these roads used to be, um, they would be where the vegetables, whatever type of produce was growing, going to the market, and they use them as farm to market roads. So they still have a lot of them keep those names at some point, but will change somewhere down the road when they start to extend out. Anyway, that was a quick lesson on some street names in the South, at least in Houston. But anyway, so I go through three time zones, and so time zones. Oh my gosh, it feels like time zones. But three different school zones on my way into work. So I, have to adjust my schedule after the summer break. Seems like there are a lot of teachers in Houston. A lot of teachers, a lot of parents that are teachers. The traffic gets so much lighter during the summertime. I don't know, maybe I just notice it now. Um, I've noticed it before though too. Although sometimes I was working closer to home, so it wasn't too big of a deal. But now that I'm working where I drive for at least 35 minutes to get to work, I'm noticing that there's a difference in the traffic between the summertime and their breaks that they have. So I'm just coming on to say, how are you adjusting to change this week? We ended our our summer podcast series, Just Be. If you missed it, you can go back and watch the replays on the YouTube channel, Single Moms Level Up. And we talked about some things and about how we can adjust and how we shouldn't forget about ourselves, especially as single moms. That's easy to just let that go, and focus solely on the kids. But when they grow up, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? When they grow up, already we're gonna have to process ourselves from that role of being the person that helps, is a complete influence on them and guide, tells them what to do, versus once they turn 18 and they move out into their adulthood, you become the counselor. It is now, in your opinion, it is not something that they necessarily may or may not take. And they may just go on about their way. And then we got to sit there and watch them bump their head, you know, because we can't necessarily stop them, because it they overage, they 18, and they were now totally responsible for their actions, and the consequences thereof, and consequences could be going in one direction or another. Um, Just know that decisions are good or bad, not your children are good or bad. And so I've tried to put that into my kids that, um, it's when you make a bad decision, it's a bad decision. It doesn't make you bad. You know what I'm saying? It also doesn't make us bad parents when our children's make bad decisions. The decision is bad. We still love our children. We still care for them. We'll still be there for them. But we do also have to set a boundary, a new boundary for ourselves. And you see, I'm pointing to me that we can't always be there to save them. Sometimes we just need to let them figure it out for themselves and just be the counselor that we're called to be once they become adults and young adults, yes, too. Um, there's some things that I wish I would have done more of when I was raising them to help them make better decisions. But regardless of the fact that they don't have the history or the wisdom that we have, but where we got that wisdom from, a lot of times is from the mistakes that we made. That's where we've learned the lessons. So they have to learn their own lessons as well, throughout life, and the 20s, late teens and early 20s. That's where we all figure out who we are, where we are, what we're going, what we like, what we don't like, what we shouldn't do, what we should do. That's where we figured all that out, is in our 20s, and hopefully in our 30s we get a grip of what that is, um, and start heading in a new direction. So my allergies are kicking in because the season's starting to change. So anyway, I just want to pop in and encourage you, single mom, that yes, this is a change, but make sure that when you're doing all this scheduling and writing everything down for the kids' things and their activities and extracurricular activities, make sure you include some activities for yourself. Okay? For me, Mondays are my reset days, I guess I could call it. Mondays are my reset days. Sunday, kind of, sort of, um, but that's kind of, sort of. But I'm in a whole nother mode on Sundays because I do some things, and participate. I got like eye boogers. So sorry, that is so random and maybe too much information. Um, but Sundays I'm doing some work at church, so Monday is kind of my slow day. That's where I slow down, reset myself, do some things for me because it's my off day. And yeah, it's not a total complete all about me because still help out my kids, in there too. But I slow down for me and start resetting my week. And so I had to get to this point because for a long time my reset was once a year, and that was my birthday. For a long time my reset was never. I was trying to be the picture perfect mom and was driving myself nuts, driving myself crazy, stressing myself out when things didn't go the way that I wanted them to go or whatever. And then I finally started pulling it together and realizing, hey, I need to take time out for me. I need to reset myself. And I started out with once a year, twice a year, and then went down to realize, hey, I need to do this at least once a month. And then now I'm to the point where it's once a week. So once a week, and then I'm working my way down to once a day, you know, and that's just something we have to work in to our lives. This dragonfly has been flying past this window. I'm just glad that it's not coming up in the car because we're gonna be up in here fighting, okay? Cause I don't do flying stuff all up in my face. Mm-mm. That was me in the country got a problem, okay? Anyway, um, I just want to encourage you, single moms, to Work your way into it. Work it into your schedule to have time out for you, single mom, especially you, single mom, because we can get so involved with our children and everybody else. Our friend, our children. I'm gonna say our children because sometimes we leave our friends out too, and we don't spend time with them, and we leave our families out too, and we don't spend time with them. So we have to make sure that we spend time with everybody. The Just Be podcast summer series talks about that and how we need to have some goals set for those things, what the benefits of those goals would be, and what are we going to do? What is our course of action? How are we going to reach these goals so that we can receive these benefits and participate and give these benefits to others? So that's something that I was doing today. And so I wanted to just pop in and just encourage you, single mom, that you're not alone. You're not alone. You're not by yourself. And if you feel that you're alone, feel free to join the Single Moms Club private Facebook page where, you know, um, I pop in, I drop in some resources and things of that sort. And resources are available there as well. That I put books and things of that sort to help ourselves out. And by all means, get a mentor, and mentors, yes, it's an investment to do that, but you can work your way into it. So in 2020, I got a mentor. That wasn't the plan, but I ended up with a mentor. And my mentor says that life is so much better with and living it out with community. So that's where Single Moms Level Up came from, got birthed through that movement in 2020 that I participated in. Didn't know that 2020 was going to go the way that it did. Things ended up shutting down just a week after that. That I went through. I participated in a challenge, and it was a 31-day challenge. And a week into that, the world shut down, but that challenge was still going. But I was able to totally, completely focus on that. And because I'm going to tell you this, God laid me out on the floor. I was fully getting dressed, earrings, brushed my teeth, everything for 31 days in that first 31 days of COVID. And I was completely getting dressed, shower, everything but shoes. Um, I felt in my spirit that God told me not to put shoes on. So basically, my home became my holy ground. And that's where God changed my mindset, my life, healed my heart from some past hurt wounds, and all of that, and showed me some things. Showed me some things that I really wanted for myself. And one of those things was to work from rest and not to rest. Listen to that. From rest and not to rest. I was like, how do you do that? And so I was like, I want to do that. I want to work from rest. But I recall, and God had me to recall some moments when I did that. But they were moments. I want to live in that. That's where I'm at now. I want to live in that. I don't just want to have moments of it. I want to live in that like forever, forever, ever, ever, ever. But Mondays are my day to myself. Monday's the day I don't do my hair. I give my hair a break from me doing whatever I do to make it do. And I just give it a break. I give my hair a break. I put on this thing, turban, whatever you want to call it. Um, I'm noticing that it's next, since it's black and white, it's showing and making my black and white hair now start stand out. Um, don't mind it because it's a crown of wisdom that's been being placed on me because I've lived this far. I'm 56 now. Never thought I'd make it to 56. That's a whole nother story of why I didn't think that, but here I am, and I'm a Gigi. I'm a grandma and of two, and that's an interesting dynamic. And seeing that and um living through that and experiencing that, has showed me and given me the opportunity to go back and think about the times and the emotions that I felt as I was raising my kids. I'm sorry, I hear something buzzing over here. And it's not the cicadas that you may hear, but something else that was a little too close. It sounded like a fly or something. I didn't know if I needed to start swinging. But but anyway, it brings back some emotions that I had when I was raising my kids as a single mom, and I'm able to address them and work through them and grow from them and learn from them. And that's the experience that I've been having since I've been a grandmother for going on 3 years now. And sometimes it's hard, and sometimes it's, oh, okay, I see. It's one of those things in life that you learn from, and it's a process. And you'll learn more and more as the grandkids grow older, and as my kids are growing older, I'm learning more and more about my positioning in that. And I am the matriarch of my family because it's just me, you know. My dad's there too, but my dad's older. But my mom and my sister are gone, so I'm the matriarch. My grandmother's gone. Um, that I'm the matriarch of my family, so um, I'm learning to be okay with that and learning what that means, and opening myself and my heart to others, to love and accept others in as family. My grandkids have, my daughter and my grandkids have brought in more family that we now have. I think now Christmas is now being celebrated at my house, um, at our house, because, you know, it's the bigger house that can hold everybody. Christmas last year was very interesting. It was for me because all the different personalities and everything that was going on was a lot for me to handle. Um, Most of my life, I could say I've been somewhat of an introvert with some extrovert tendencies, because I try to bust out of that and not be by myself all the time. Even though I'm totally okay with being by myself, I've actually been thinking about something, came across one of my feeds on one of the social medias about living in this uh capsule. I'd say, lack of a better word, a capsule, but living in this capsule for 31 days by yourself. No contact with your family, no cell phone, no Wi-Fi, and living in there, and see if you'd be cool with that. And there's a prize for that. You get some prize money for if you make it all the way through. I think I truthfully would be okay with that, just as long as I was thinking in that mindset and brought the things that I would need for me to, and I think I would come out as a totally different person. You know, not totally, but I would come out with a different perspective of things and myself and the people around me and my family. Um, I would miss seeing them though. But anyway, today's Monday and this is my reset day. It's my mindful Monday is what I call it. Mindful Monday, just thinking about, be mindful of myself, of others, of self-care and self-love, knowing that those two things are different. Watch some of the things in the podcast, I explain that. And reflecting back on how I have accepted therapy into my life. It was something that was taboo and shunned against, you know, as I was growing up in the church. That's just how it was back in the day, when I was in church. I'm a church girl. I've been in church all my life since I remember being in church all the way till I was up, you know, from 3 on. My mom obviously, you know, told me it was more than that, because my mom was a PK, a preacher's kid. And so definitely I was in church my whole life. There were times that for whatever reason I couldn't make it, mostly because I've worked retail the majority of my life. And so a lot of times retail requires you to work on Sundays, so I don't end up going on Sundays, but that didn't stop me from participating in some of the things throughout the week. So I've done that, and I enjoy going to church now because I understand the concept of it and go to church for to fellowship with other people and to receive guidance from God and praise God with a group of people. Because where two or three are gathered, therein lies the presence of God. So that's some of the things that I do. I participate in devotion every morning because I have some Bible study classes that I participate in. Um, and believe it or not, I never used to really like as a child. Um, we used to call it Sunday school. Where I'm at now, they call it discipleship class, and it's more of a focus on discipling and giving us the tools to share, um, Jesus Christ with everybody, and relationship with Him. So I'm more on relationship than I am on the religious aspect of everything. Um, Even though that plays a part, but I understand now that the relationship is the more important part. That's where the love, God says that the greatest of these three things is love. And that's who God is, love. So anyway, Monday is my reset day, my mindful Monday. And here I am just resetting and telling you how I'm resetting today. I will be doing some, I've done my devotion today. I'm sharing with you guys today. I will be doing some writing today. Um, I will more than likely probably do some cleaning of the house. Um, and definitely, if I feel like it, take a freaking nap, you know, at some point in there as part of my self care. And yeah, those are some of the things that I will do today, but I definitely move slower on my day that I have set aside for myself. It's a slower movement. It's not so fast paced with this all throughout the day. And then at the end of the day, I just, you know, crash, and go to sleep sometimes. Sometimes I may need to scroll or do something else before I go to bed. But yeah, that's what I'm encouraging you, single moms, is to make sure you take the time. Take the time for you. You, you, you. Take the time for you at some point in time this week. Set aside a day. If you got to put it on the calendar, do it. I've done that and actually put it on my calendar where it will pop up and say, hey, check in with you. And this is how I put it on my calendar. It says, check in with you. Are you okay? And then I'd stop and check myself. And if I'm not okay, I change however my schedule's going. If I possibly can, I'm not in the middle of something. Then definitely right after I finish what I'm doing, then I check in with myself. And if I'm not okay, I do whatever I need to do to make myself okay. Check in with you. Don't forget you, single mom. Much love. Hashtag single moms level up. Bye. My name is Bess. I'm the founder and the CEO of my life. And as a single mother, I'm a CEO in training. Bye.